So, you think this is over?
Sí, es el tráiler.
Wait. No. I can't.
That's the secret hidden by Ermin's soul concerning the truth of this world.
The balladeer has already become a god?
No wonder your own people have abandoned you, God of Wisdom.
La verdad es que crearon un mega ahí gigante, ¿sabes?
At my command, you shall fall.
Rayo. What the fuck?
My endless cycle begins. Your ploy was to sacrifice the traveler here, was it not?
Nilou, are you sure about this? You're taking such a great risk for them.
Nilo.
I must admit that I'm a little scared. But I'll try my best for Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Hatham's plan is even more radical than I imagined.
Brothers, let's show them we Eremites are not to be messed with.
Quasar, you've betrayed all of Sumeru, betrayed its Archon.
Creating a god. We are using human wisdom to create a god. Let us reenact the scene of the Archon War. Come and inaugurate my birth as a god.
Brutal. Mira, con Nahida al lado. O sea que liberaremos a Nahida para luchar contra él. Mira, el primer código ya. Qué rápido, ¿no? Esto va a durar poco, vas a ver. Esto va a durar poco. Vale, el primero lo tengo.
So, we've got a lot to unpack from that trailer.
Mira que sabía que van a estar ahí los cabrones.
After experiencing the Sub-Zerus Festival, Samsara, and surviving our journey through the desert, we'll finally get to the riveting end of the Sumeru Archon quest in version 3.2. Picking up right where we left off, the Traveler is teaming up with some amazing characters to face the Academia and rescue Sumeru's Archon. But I'm sure the first thing everyone's wondering is how we're going to save the Dendro Archon.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Nahida's been locked up by the doctor inside the sanctuary of Surasthana. It's not like we can just go walking in there. And on top of that, we're dealing with two of the Fatui Harbingers now. We've got the Balladeer in his super powerful looking boss form, as well as the doctor, who seems to be a real tricky
Ese no será su engaño, ¿no? Porque me parece una bestia.
The Traveler really has his hands full with this one.
Yeah, definitely a tricky situation.
La voz de Nahida,
And
o sea, la tía que hace la voz de Nahida, imagino que pone bot pinche a la hora de hacer la voz, porque suena horrible, ¿vale?
His guard. But hey, with the help of two insiders like Sino and Alhaitham, we might just have a way into the Academia.
Well, as the General Mahamatra, Sino also has his own agenda. After being tracked and predicted by the Academia for all these years, this might just be his chance to settle the score.
And if we're hoping to truly save Sumeru, we'll definitely need the power of the Dendro Archon to help us.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how everyone's hard work and coordination plays out.
And I don't know about you guys, but besides saving Nahida, I'm also curious how we're going to save Irminsul.
A mí lo que me ha
we
resultado
still don't know the
curioso
meaning behind the
es
words
ver
that
aparecer a
Greater Lord
Nilo
Rukkhadevata left us. World,
con lo insípida que es,
forget
¿vale?
me.
Que no aporta nada.
Well, travelers will be able to personally unravel the answers to all these questions in their own journeys through version 3.2.
You know, I'm actually kind of curious what the future for Sumeru will be once they get through all of this and, well, you know, what will happen to the crew we've been working with along the way.
Ya dije que cantaba igual que
I just hope things
que
will
la
work out
segunda
for everyone
Fatu.
affected by
La
Elazar,
tercera, no
like
acuerdo.
Dunyarzad
Creo que
and
la
Colin.
tercera. Era en plan...
And we can't forget the desert dwellers who have been mistreated all these years. There's a lot that needs to change for them, too.
Right. So be sure not to miss Chapter 5 of the Archon quest. Akasha pulses, the Kulpa flame rises. It'll be quite the ride, and I hope everyone will enjoy it.
Yeah, and of course, the end of this quest won't be the end of everyone's journey in Sumeru. There are still many puzzles and mysteries waiting to be solved. Whether it's Lesser Lord
Sí, su lore
Kusanali, the
inexistente,
Doctor,
obviamente.
or the Balladeer, I think there still might be lots of unexpected things waiting to be uncovered.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome.
Okay, so now that we've talked about some of the storyline, maybe we can talk about that massive mechanical-looking puppet we've seen. That's the god that the academia has been creating.
That's right. And now that you mentioned it, let's talk about the Balladeer boss battle.
This boss looks tough. The doctor must have put a lot of his energy into this.
Yeah, the Balladeer has lots of strong and awesome looking abilities, so why don't we start by checking out some gameplay from the new boss battle?
Sounds good.
Woo!
Vamos a ver las mecánicas del jefe. Y eso de hidro me dejó rayado, tío. Y fuego también. Buah, te va a hacer reacciones elementales el cabrón, ¿vale? Mira, ¿qué coño es esa cosa, loco? Mi madre, ¿eh? Qué bonito. Brutal, ¿eh? ¿Anemo? Hidro también por ahí, fuego. Crío ahora. Usa todos los elementos, en serio.
Wow, just look at the size of it. Pretty sure this boss is gonna push travelers to the limit.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that thing is huge.
Porque usa todos los putos elementos.
Third
Bueno, menos
Fatui
Geo y
Harbinger
Demo.
boss battle we've had. They really keep stepping up the art and design every time. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
This is an ultra-powerful puppet we're going up against here. So we're talking huge attacks and epic moves. Let's break it down a bit.
Con todos los
In the
símbolos derechos.
first phase of the battle, the Balladeer will use his massive arms to attack everyone.
Crío, ¿eh?
The arms are capable of utilizing different elemental powers, and there are several types of abilities, including attacks that create fields of burning or freezing effects on the ground.
Oh, you know what? This fight kind of reminds me of when we fight Ruin Guards.
On the ground, so activating those might trigger some interesting effects.
And I bet a lot of people are wondering what that thing is floating next to us. Not gonna lie, he's kind of cute. Oh, maybe it's a Paimon
Le
reskin.
dispara.
Sorry, but no. Not only is it super cute, but it's also super powerful. Travelers will need to charge energy for this little helper and use its special skill to counter the boss in battle.
A helper in a boss
Dispara a
fight.
los nodos esos del
Yeah, that's definitely not Paimon.
Es útil, no es Paimon.
Once the Balladeer has transformed into this massive form, our usual attacks won't deal any tangible damage to him. So, the only thing capable of breaking through his defenses will be our little helper that we just mentioned. There will even be some moments in the fight where travelers will need to use an aiming mode to attack the boss's weak points.
Oh, who would have guessed that little thing would
Qué
be so
guapo.
important against a boss the size of the Balladeer?
I know, right? They also use some amazing special effects for all of the Balladeer's moves.
Está muy
Speaking
guapo,
of
¿eh?
which, the cosmic
muy guapo.
appearance, the spacey special effects of the skills.
Esa habilidad me parece súper brutal, ¿vale? Me parece súper Dark Souls, además.
Ah, you're right.
En plan,
And
como el
seriously,
Elden.
I can't wait to check out this new boss fight. I'm so hyped.
Yeah.
Está muy
So
bien
now
hecho
that we've
este jefe.
covered the new boss battle, I think it's time to introduce the first of our new playable characters coming in version 3.2.
Nahida.
Let's welcome Lesser Lord Kusanali, aka Nahida. Yay!
Hey, finally!
AKA
After
Nahida.
everything we've experienced in the story so far, I think Nahida's already like a good friend to us. It's seriously so crazy what we've been through.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear you say that, Zach. Okay, so throughout our journey, maybe everyone's already noticed some of the unique, yeah, let's call it that, unique metaphors that Nahida likes to use. And yeah, they can be pretty out there. Or sometimes she'll use really childlike language to describe some deep or profound idea. But the truth is, she has yet to set foot in the outside world since she was born. To her, all the knowledge that she has in her mind is like pieces of scenery that she's never seen with her own eyes.
Totally. It's really
Muy
hard to
bonito el
imagine
personaje.
that the god of wisdom had been locked up
Sí, se
for
parece a Axel.
500 years.
Yes.
Just makes me upset just thinking about it.
But I'm sure everything will work out sooner or later.
If travelers would like to spend more time with Nahida, then
Una
be sure to
misión
check out
legendaria,
Nahida's
obviamente.
story quest, Sapientia or Mastes chapter.
Imagino que cuando acabes
The
la
quest will be
historia,
available upon completing the Sumeru Archon
obviamente.
quest. So be sure to check out the
Porque
quest
si
to
no,
learn
no
more.
tiene sentido.
It's nice that we'll get to spend more time with her. But I want to see Nahida in battle. What you got for us, Kimberly?
Oh, I've got lots to share. But before we get to that, let's have a quick peek at Nahida in action.
What they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful it is.
Me encantan los ataques. Ping, ping, salta. Ping, ping, ping.
Grow, grow, grow!
¡Piu!
The Temple of Wisdom!
Temple of Wisdom. La verdad es que la voz es horrible.
Wow.
Es muy bonita.
Look at her.
Hola, poliventilador.
Aw, little Nahida is so cute. I love how she hops around when she's fighting. Oh, and her swing too. So, what's that skill that looks like she's using a viewfinder or something? That seems pretty different.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with her viewfinder-ish kind of skill, which is actually her elemental skill.
Dispara
As a
rápido,
Catalyst user, Nahida's combat style is pretty unique. You may cast her elemental skill by tapping the skill button, or you may hold the button to enter an aiming mode. Opponents who are selected while aiming will be linked by Nahida's special mark. After you trigger elemental reactions on opponents who
Mírala
are linked,
con Chinchu,
and when they take damage from dendro cores, Nahida will unleash Tri-Karma Purification, dealing dendro damage.
Whoa, this is so
Básicamente,
cool.
cuando haces una reacción elemental a un enemigo marcado por eso, le hace daño a él y a lo que está conectado, ¿no?
Elemental skill and enter the aiming mode we just mentioned.
Y puede
to interact
recolectar
with
con ello
certain
también.
harvestable items, allowing her to collect items directly to the inventory from a distance.
Whoa, wait.
Puede
Being
recolectar
able to
cosas a
harvest
distancia.
materials like that is gonna
Hola,
be so
Tinky
cool.
Winky, ¿cómo estamos?
That'll really save us some time.
Yeah. This skill may also have some additional uses, so travelers will have to give it a try themselves and see.
Ooh, okay.
Puedes tirárselo a la
Nahida's
gente.
elemental burst is where things get really interesting. Upon unleashing her burst, Nahida manifests the Court of Dreams, expanding a special field.
That's pretty amazing.
Es
The effect
enorme.
really does look like some
Es
royal
gigante.
court or palace.
Yeah. Different effects will be produced based on whether there are pyro, electro, and hydro characters in the party. While Nahida is within the special field, a pyro member in the party will increase the damage of Tri-Karma Purification.
Vale.
An electro party member will decrease the intervals at which Tri-Karma Purification is triggered, and a hydro party member will cause the duration of the field to be increased. If there are at least 2 party members of the elemental types I just mentioned, then the effects will be increased further.
Whoa,
Ah,
this is
sí.
blowing my mind
Así
right
te voy a
now.
llevar yo a ti, ¿eh?
We really have to focus on which effects we want to
Con
achieve
Coco-chan.
and put some thought into our team's composition.
Right? A key thing to remember is that these effects can be triggered while Nahida is not on the battlefield,
Obviamente.
as long as the active character
Mira,
remains in the
mira,
special
así vas a
field
ir tú.
radius.
Nice.
Oy, Coco, mira
Also,
mi
in
team.
addition to Nahida, we have one other character joining us in version 3.2.
Laila.
That's right. She's a very peculiar academia student. Her name is Layla. Most days,
Es
she
astróloga.
looks super tired and anxious, which seems to be a direct result of her relentless struggle with her studies.
Yeah, and not only is she frail and anxious looking, but she also studies astrology. So it's no wonder people around her might consider her a little strange and mysterious.
Esta tiene una pinta guay.
And even though she's
A ver
always
si le ponen el pelo
groaning
tan
about her
largo como la
studies,
imagen.
most of Layla's research work is actually fine overall. It's just her lack of confidence that's really holding her back. And that's when her unusual ability comes into play.
And her ability is
¿Dormir?
sleepwalking.
Yeah. While she is sleeping, Layla unleashes her true self, allowing her to regain the confidence she needs and activate
Tiene doble
the
personalidad.
talents
Cuando
and
duerme, tiene otra
strengths
personalidad.
she's
Oh,
had
qué
all
cliché
along.
del anime.
As soon as she starts sleepwalking, her unfinished papers no longer seem like the monumental tasks they were, and she completes them in no time.
This is
Sí, por
definitely
eso es un
something
cliché.
only Layla can
Exactamente,
do.
Dani.
Our viewers shouldn't try to do this with their own
Un
homework.
cliché del anime.
But does Layla have any idea what happens when she's sleepwalking? I mean, does she know
Nahida va a
that she
ser
has
Dios,
this ability?
Suifu.
She
Va a ser
seems
Dios.
to be aware of it. The papers are obviously full of her handwriting, after all. But there have
Yo
been
Layla no
some
sé si la
weird
sacaré,
instances.
pero porque no
For
voy a tirar en ese
example,
banner.
once during crunch time while researching,
Porque no quiero,
she
no puedo tirar el banner de
sleepwalked
ya
and
y no
climbed
pienso
the
tirar el
wall
banner
of Sami,
de
and then
Dantales,
randomly
¿sabes?
bumped into Candace.
Yo te lo digo.
Such weird occurrences have made her start to wonder what's really going on.
And aside from her sleepwalking, just like any other student.
Creo que no viene
Layla
junta.
has many typical things that she hopes to achieve.
O sea, hay personajes que yo no voy a tirar, no voy a tirar una Aqui, ni una
She wants
Yae,
to
ni
be
una
able to
Eula,
make
ni... No,
friends and
¿sabes?
go
Ni un
out,
Tartaglia,
have fun.
ni a Yumilla.
But
O
it
sea, no voy a
seems like
tirarle.
she'll never be able to do any of that until she graduates.
And actually, I'm guessing that she uses her sleepwalking abilities in combat too, right?
You bet. Let's have a look at Layla in combat.
Vamos a ver.
Sweet.
Even when we're
Mira, el
not
pelo no lo tiene tan largo, un poco más corto, pero vale.
they're always there.
Tiene ojeras, como Rezo.
My guiding stars.
My guiding stars.
Stars, shine for me.
It almost looks like she's sleeping while being protected by the
Sí, se
shield.
queda a dormir.
This shield not only protects Layla, but also creates night stars while it is active. When a character protected by the shield uses an elemental skill, more night stars will be created. Once 4 night stars have been accumulated, they will transform into homing shooting stars, dealing damage to any opponent's hit.
Ooh.
Ah, night stars.
Los básicos también
I
la
love
juntan,
how her
lo que va a
skills
hacer
have a
con
starry
Kenji.
theme. It ties into her studies.
Yeah, throughout
Para
the
Rezo
shield's
estaría bien esta tía, por
duration,
ejemplo.
each time a night star is accumulated, the shield strength will increase. This effect can stack up to a maximum
Vale.
of 4 times.
Whoa.
Layla's elemental burst unleashes a dream sphere that constantly fires starlight slugs at opponents within its AoE.
Es grande la
while
AoE, ¿eh?
Also
Oye,
generating
qué
night
grande,
stars
¿eh?
for Layla's
Es como la de
shield.
Ganyu.
As a talented Ratawa his student, Layla also comes in handy when crafting. When Layla crafts character talent materials, she has a set chance to receive double the product.
Ah, nice.
Sweet. Anyway, when can travelers expect to see these new characters available in-game?
Great question. That brings us to our new event wishes.
Nah.
In the early part of version 3.2,
Yoimiya-chan y
Nahida and
Nahida-chan.
Yoimiya will be available. In the later part of the version, we'll be
Ya
seeing
y
rerun
Tartaglia.
event wishes for Yaemiko
Ha
and
vuelto,
Tartaglia,
señores.
and Layla will become available for the first
Otra
time.
vez Tartaglia.
Also, a new 5-star weapon,
Y el arma de Nahida,
1,000
claro.
Floating Dreams, will be appearing in the new weapon
Que es,
event wish.
que es una,
Oh, nice.
como
By the way,
una...
I've heard that Layla's been
lámpara
getting ready recently
de
to
genio.
participate in Sumeru's Beast Tamer tournament. But before we get into that, I think it's time for us to take another break. We'll be back with the latest info on events coming in the version update.
Viene un
I
código.
know what you're thinking. It's time for redemption code.
Redemption code.
You guys get it?
Boo.
Sai no.
All right, that's enough.
Boo.
A ver, KS TI QL3 Y JFC WM. Ahora tenéis los dos códigos por ahora. Ahí tenéis los dos codiguillos. Bueno, no se puede tener todo. Otras veces sí los han puesto juntos, como pasó con Candice. Pero esta vez Layla, que aparte a mí Layla me gusta. El personaje me gusta, la estética y me gustan sus habilidades. Y me parece como una especie de Ganyu más support. En plan, o sea, support. O sea, como una Ganyu support, pero más support. ¿Vale? Más... Porque Ganyu es más de pegar fuerte. Esta tiene pinta con el tema de los escudos, pues claro, te aporta escuditos. Y los escuditos molan, ¿sabes? Los escuditos nos gustan a todos, ¿vale? A todo el mundo nos gustan los escudos.
Welcome back to the version 3.2
Nos regalan una
special
Dori.
program, everyone. Next, we'll take a look at some of the new events for the coming update. An amazing fungus competition is about to begin in the lands of
Nos
Sumeru.
regalan una Dori, señores.
Not
Para que no la
only has
tengan.
it attracted local competitors from Sumeru, but also spectators from other nations.
Fungus competition? How does that even work? Aren't fungi
¿Cómo
dangerous?
se
They're
funciona
always
eso?
attacking us in the wild.
I know it sounds a little weird, but you'll love it. In this contest, participants will use a
códigos son
special
estos por
gadget
ahora.
called a Wisdom Orb to catch and train their fungi and
Ese.
participate in battle events.
Y el otro que veis por ahí
Although the
arriba.
fungi often pose as little troublemakers for us in the wild, using this gadget will allow travelers to establish a certain level of communication with them.
Okay, so if I catch and train a Jade Plume Terror Shrew,
me
then
faltan los
I
códigos que
should
puse
be
yo
pretty
antes.
much unstoppable, right?
Oh no, come on. That wouldn't be fair.
In this event, travelers
Aquí
will
están.
be able to sneak up on fungi in some certain areas to catch them.
Aquí está.
Unfortunately, the Jade Plume Terror Shroom is not one of those areas,
Gracias,
Kimberly.
Rio.
Aww.
If you end up startling them, they'll flee until they are outside a set distance.
After catching different kinds of fungi, you can follow Paimon's suggestion and give them cute names. But most importantly, you will have to train your fungi.
That sounds fun.
Como que
Travelers will have to
entrenar
use
los
special floral
fungus.
jelly ingredients to mix and form blends that your fungi enjoy and unlock their true potential. While mixing ingredients, you use copy, switch, and rotate functions, and place a preset formula you have in the corresponding spot.
Aw, it looks kind of like jelly. I bet Paimon's gonna be all over that.
¿Qué?
Paimon wouldn't ever do that!
Estoy viendo.
Well, I can tell why you didn't book that role.
And with all these different kinds of fungi, they should have different abilities, right?
Yeah, so to work on their abilities, we'll use something called the Special Training Mode. In this mode, there will be 2 challenge types, Coordinated Assaults and Zone Defense. Travelers will be able to command their fungi's abilities, have them coordinate their attacks against a single target,
Pokémon.
and control them to
Qué
defend
chulo,
the
tiene muy buena
leyline model.
pinta, ¿eh?
Aw, they're so cute. This is gonna be so much fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, me neither. As for the rewards, in addition to Primo Gems and various materials, once travelers have reached a certain phase of the event, they will also be able to summon the great and almighty merchant, Dory.
And Layla
Qué
will
pena que
be
este tipo de
appearing
cosas
in
no
the
se
event
queden, tío.
storyline,
Está
as
súper
well
guapo.
as a familiar visitor from another nation. Any idea who it could be?
Supposedly a
Hola, Skipper.
fungi.
Okay, I see what you did there. I respect it. Let's leave that for travelers to discover themselves in the event.
Come on, guys, fungi.
Okay, next up we have a change of pace with an all-new Trials event. For this event, travelers will have to use characters' special abilities to complete specific objectives. For example, you may have to knock slimes into the goal by triggering an overloaded reaction with Yen Phase and Klee's attacks, or use Yelan's elemental skill to move quickly and dodge giant pinballs.
Oh.
Here are some others. Use Xiao's
Pero
plunging
te dejarán
attack
los
to
personajes.
send
Ah, si te lo dejan, te lo
platforms
pones
back
de
to the
prueba.
ground, or use Beto's elemental skill to hit the ball.
Qué guay.
This sounds like some pretty
Coño,
unusual
estos eventos que están viniendo están chulos,
Yeah.
¿eh?
And to make things even more interesting, this event will support co-op gameplay.
Oh.
Por fin.
This sounds like it'll be a lot of fun
Por
to watch.
fin, loco. ¿Cuánto hacía que no tenemos un co-op,
What
tío?
about objectives for characters that maybe we haven't unlocked yet?
No worries, we got you covered. All the corresponding characters will be provided as trial characters in the challenge.
Todos son trial.
Perfect.
In addition to these events, version 3.2 will also feature an event for our players to
¿Os
put their
acordáis de la
skills to the
hipostasis
test.
Symphony?
This time,
También es multiplayer.
we'll have a new edition of the Hypostatic Symphony
Al
event.
fin, tío.
Nice.
Otro evento multi.
So, what changes can travelers expect this time around?
The most notable change, of
Por
course,
fin,
will be
loco,
the addition
tío.
of the new Dendro
Los
Hypostasis.
cubos otra vez.
That's right, the last member of the Hypostasis family will be officially landing in version 3.2.
Nada, está guay
Besides
pasarlo en la
serving as a
comunidad
new
para ayudar a la
open world
gente, tío.
boss, the Dendro Hypostasis will also be busy performing alongside its fellow Hypostases in the Hypostatic Symphony
A mí
event.
me gustaba, este
This
evento me
time
parece
around,
brutal.
travelers will be facing challenges featuring the Dendro, Cryo, Pyro, and Hydro Hypostases. Before each challenge, travelers may select a buff effect to use. However,
Dime que es multiplayer.
as you increase the difficulty, the number of uses will decrease and the enemies will become more challenging.
Dime que es
So it'll
multiplayer.
be super important for travelers to plan the right moment to use these effects.
So what options do we have once we run out of buffs?
Travelers will still be able to use food and potions from their inventory. If you're aiming to just collect all the Primo Gem rewards, then don't worry. You won't need to
Mira,
up the
qué
difficulty
diferente.
too
Hace una cosa
much.
distinta.
Okay, good to know. Whew.
I, for one, will definitely not be upping the difficulty. And just like before, you may tackle the challenges together with your friends once
Toma.
they have joined your world.
Se puede hacer
Great.
el multiplayer, lo
We can
acaba de
help
decir.
each other out.
Oh,
Lo
yeah.
acaba de decir.
Now that we've covered the
Se puede hacer
challenge
el
event,
multiplayer.
let's take a quick look at a couple more
Sí.
casual events coming our way in the new update.
Nice, me gusta, me
First,
gusta.
we'll be finding inspiration for an illustrator in the Outside the Canvas Inside the Lens event.
Vale,
And
de
once
foto.
again, we'll be working together with LÉEME in Marvelous
Este evento gustó
Merchandise.
mucho. El primer evento
It's
que fue
also
el
worth
3.0,
mentioning here
el
that
de
some
las fotos que hubo, a la gente
optimizations
le
have
gustó un
been made
montón.
for the photo events
Así
this
que por
time
eso lo han
around.
puesto.
everyone will be able to select
Los
from
eventos de
some
fotos,
preset
aunque no lo
angles
creáis,
and can make
a la
use
gente
of
le
the
gustan
rotate and
muchísimo.
focus
Si vais a la
functions to
página de
take
mi
better
joyo,
pictures.
de Joyo Lab,
That's great.
lo
While
podréis
you're out
entender.
taking
Hacen
pictures,
muchísimos
you may
eventos de
run into
fotografía
some interesting
y montón de
storylines
gente
along the
participa.
way. So be sure not to miss outside the canvas, inside the lens.
Man, I love these kinds of
No
events.
están mal, no
Sign
están
me
mal.
up.
Yeah, me too. In addition to all these new events,
Vale, van a
we
meter
also
las
have
cosas
some
evidentemente de
news on
Sumeru por fin a la
system-related updates
carretera.
and optimizations. I'm really excited about the first of
Obviamente,
these, which is
tocaba
regarding
ya.
the Serenity Pot. Starting with version 3.2, the Serenity Pot will be adding the long-awaited replication system.
Ah, podremos copiarlas de
That's
otro.
super amazing.
Yeah.
Podrás copiar las
This
teteras de otras
feature will
personas.
allow travelers to use sharing codes to bring designs from other travelers'
No
teapots
está mal, no está
and
mal.
implement them in their own, or share their own teapot designs. I know there may be some travelers out there who
Me
have
parece
seen
bien.
some amazing teapot designs that they've wanted to also create themselves, but didn't have the ability or time to make it. With this new function, travelers will
Vale,
be able
están
to
diciendo
bring
que
that
es para los
creativity back to
travelers
their own
que no tienen ganas de
teapot
decorar y
or
quieren hacer una
share their
tetera bonita y es una
creativity
manera
with
rápida de
Get ready to
hacerlo.
hit up your
Y
friends
ya
with
está, me parece
amazing
bien.
teapot skills.
Me
I
parece bien.
can't wait to see everyone sharing their designs, especially with me.
Claro, podremos copiar la tetera de otros,
Which
exactamente.
brings us to our final update.
Hay gente que
to
tiene
share with
teteras que son
everyone.
auténticamente
This one
maravillas,
is
¿vale?
regarding the game's
No, yo lo copiaré
available
también porque hay gente que hace
languages.
auténticas
Starting with
maravillas, Jay.
version 3.3, which will be the update following this one, Genshin Impact will be adding Turkish and Italian to the game language settings.
Oh,
so
mira.
players who'd prefer to see the game's text and UI in those
En
languages
italiano y en
can look
turco.
forward to that.
The
Vale,
team
bien,
truly
tío.
hopes that travelers from all over the world can enjoy the game and start their own journeys through the world of Tibet.
Esos son cambios muy
For further
positivos, que lo
details,
traduzcan a
please
más
check
lenguas.
Genshin Impact's official channels
muy bueno.
and keep an eye out for future announcements.
Ahora
and
traducción
info.
español.
Wow,
En
we've
voz.
covered a ton of stuff. Seriously, it's a lot to take in.
For sure. So now is probably a great time for our last redemption code.
Last
Oh,
redemption
yeah. Let's
code.
go.
Que S 6 R L K G K W U R. El personaje de 4 estrellas, Layla, me ha gustado. Un poco dormida, pero bueno. Pero tiene pinta de que va a ser amiguita de Razor, ¿vale? Van a ir juntitos los tres, los dos. Y le va a ayudar un montón porque le va a reducir muchísimo el daño recibido. Personajes de 4 estrellas ya sabemos que igual... Bueno, y también irá con... Oye, es verdad. Con Jan Fei, tío. Explícame tú un equipo de esta tía y Jan Fei. Si las pones juntas, ¿vale? Explícame tú. ¿Para qué necesitas curarte? ¿Vale? Una se pone escudo con la ulti, otra te pone escudo con la elemental. Es que vas a tener siempre escudo.
Well, everyone, I think we've covered just about everything
te vas a
coming our
faltar
way
curar.
in version 3.2, which means we've arrived at the
Claro,
end
divertido,
of our
¿cierto?
special program.
This was fun.
Yeah.
Ya metes a Dion ahí
no,
para
we
risas, ya.
covered a ton of stuff.
Totalmente.
Yeah. So many events too. But the thing that I'm most excited about is, of course, Nahi the playable character, Nahi the playable character, Nahi the playable character.
A veces los gestos que ponen y hacen
for me, it was
los
definitely the
chivis
ballad
cuando
bear.
tal me recuerdan a
Dude,
South Park
it looks
y no es bueno.
so insane.
Es corto porque va a ser corto. Vamos a ir a la chicha y hasta 6
Yeah, no,
centímetros.
for me, oh my gosh, so many things. Battling the Dendro Hypostasis, and of course the fabulous Fungus Frenzy. Getting my little fungi and battling with them. And, the teapot, the Serena teapot, I'm so behind on my teapot, so I can't wait to
You gotta get on it.
hopefully get some
A ver, yo la gente que
designs
está
from
muy
others,
loca con la
or at least,
teapot, yo
get
los entiendo, pero
get some inspiration from
no es mi motivación para
getting
jugar tampoco.
another teapot design.
Me da a mí que no.
And just as we mentioned earlier, even though the Sumeru Archon quest will be reaching its final chapter here, it most definitely won't be the end of our journey in Sumeru.
Vale.
In our story this time, we'll be encountering some interesting and mysterious content, and I hope it will be an amazing experience for all of our travelers. May the wisdom of the Dendro Archon be with all of you.
See you in game, everyone. Bye.
See